If you turn to the back of the bulletin, you will see the reminders. We have classes that begin tomorrow. And we have, at the end of the month, our anniversary weekend. We're having a family night on the Friday. We're having a seminar on the Saturday. We're having a special guest speaker, Reverend Alberta Ware, on the Sunday. And we're also having a matinee-type concert with Jay Douglas and friends at 2:30. In between the service and the concert, we will have soup and sandwiches. If you read the information, the cost is there. You might ask, well, why are we doing this? Well, Jay Douglas came to us and said, I would like to do something for the church to help you raise some funds. So that's why we're doing it. You might question, well, Evan, we just did something in November. Why are we doing this to raise money again? This is a gift. And as part of the gift, you are part of the gift. So you could come, or you could make a decision not to come. But we want to have this place filled. So I'm asking you to support it. Is that okay? Yes. We good? Okay, let's return to the bulletin. This is a time because of a special service, and today we want to do our giving of gifts at this time, so you may go to your envelopes or however you choose to give. So we just ask you to take your love offering and place in your left hand and just cover with the right. We know that divine love blesses everything that we have, everything that we give, everything that we receive. It comes to us as a gift from the universe. Our role is to give some of that to an idea in God that, like you, it can prosper and keep supporting you and supplying you with all the good that you need. So in giving this gift, you are giving a part of yourself. So say after me, I now give my gift. I now give my gift. Knowing I have been blessed by it. Knowing that I have been blessed by it. And I'm now sending it forth. To be a blessing to others. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And let us sing together with the choir. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me. God blesses me. God blesses me. God is so good. God so good blesses me. God prospers me. God prospers me. God is so good. God prospers me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God so good. God lives through me. God lives through me. God lives through me. God is so good. God lives through me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is one more time. Come on. so it is. Now, this is a special service. You can participate if you would like to. We call it a burning bowl service. The significance is that a fire in the Bible is used for cleansing. Water is also used for cleansing. The difference between water and fire is that water cleanses the outer, but fire attacks the roots. The roots of human beings rest in their belief system. The belief system is the cause of all the experiences that we have in our lives. So sometimes we ask ourselves, why is this happening to me over and over? This is why this service, to help us consciously and deliberately set out to release some of the things that cause us all the suffering that we encounter and endure in our lives. Now, if you would like to participate, please put your hand up. And the ushers will pass out a package for you. An envelope, a white piece of paper, and a type of tissue-looking piece of paper. If you would like a pen, you can also raise the other hand. So we know you require two things. Now the choir will sing, "We Fall Down."
We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. Oh yes, for a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. Legs down.
We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up.
Oh yeah.
For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got
All right,
up.
you guys now. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. Oh yes, for a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. Everyone down. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. Oh yes, for a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. We fall down, but we get up. Oh yes, for a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got Get back up again.
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 It's not too late.
Get back up again.
It's not too late
For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up.
No matter what you do, you can always get back up again.
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 Whoa, 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 whoa.
For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up.
For a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up.
The scripture for today is taken from the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 2. It says that Jesus was in Capernaum and he encountered a paralytic, someone who was challenged physically. And he was lying on a bed, and four of his friends, realizing that he could not get close to Jesus, for Jesus was in a house, and they went up on the roof and took some of the roofing off and let the man down. And when Jesus saw the faith of his companions, he said to the man, "Your sins are forgiven you." There were some very religious people in the crowd who believed only God could forgive. And they began to mumble, "This man is blaspheming." And Jesus said to them, "Is it easier to say your sins are forgiven or take up your bed and walk?" Now, for most of us who have read the Gospels, that statement is a statement that people just take as Jesus said it. But it has some specific meaning to us who are seeking to follow Jesus the Christ into a state of renewal. Now, first you have to understand what sin really means. Sin means to make a misstep, to go in the wrong direction, to make the wrong decision. To forgive means to exchange, to give for or replace. So here's a man telling himself he has a condition and he needs to be on a bed. And Jesus is trying to tell him, just change your mind and get up. That's forgiveness. If you keep doing the same thing that you are doing, or you have been doing for 999 years, it will stay with you. But as soon as you change your mind and do something differently, you discover that you can do. That's the gist of this story. This is a good time of the year for most of us because we come to our senses and realize that we cannot live the same way we lived the past year. Things seem to be the same. The results are the same. Most of us don't realize we are like the walking dead. We operate out of a program that we built for ourselves since we were children. Spiritual beings are observers. From little children, we observed our surroundings. And we made up truths about what was happening in our midst. We named things according to our ignorance at the time. And for most of our lives, those beliefs persisted or still persist. The thing about beliefs, whatever you believe to be true becomes your reality. Jesus said, "Be it done according to your belief." You will experience what you hold to be true. Forgiveness begins with a change that takes place in your mind. And when that change occurs, your words, your actions, and your reactions will change. That means your entire experience will be different. We don't realize that the program that we operate by now has been driven by our tribal past, the traditions handed down by our parents. It says that they shall be with us until the 10th generations, meaning the traditions that our parents handed down to us, whether true or false, good or bad, we practice them because that's what we observed when we were little children and held it to be true because the adults in our lives practiced it. If you were born into royalty, you will practice being royal. If you were born into a surrounding where you were in control, you had the right to everything, that will be your mode of operation. If you were born into an environment that says, well, those people over there can have it, but we can't, or that's the ruling class and we are the slave class. Well, guess what? Your belief system will kick in and you will experience what you hold to be true. So many of us, as we get older, we go to school, we take classes, we go to seminars, we read books, and we get new information, but the belief system stays the same. So we keep getting more information which we don't practice or use, and we have the same results. We can spit it out, and it flows like water. In the flow of life, these things happen. God is all there is, and God is absolute good, but yet we're still complaining about the bad and the evil that is in our lives. Change does not happen because you go to school. It happens when you take the information that you have, ingest it, digest it, and then appropriate it. You got to practice it. The first statement that I heard 40 years ago that I try to practice is wherever I am, God is. That the word God is an English word that means absolute good. That wherever I am, there is absolute good. My description of the absolute good is based on my early programming. The influences that came from outside, called the race consciousness, helped me to form a belief system that said, God is a judge, God is angry, God looks down at me, and God will punish me. And I came to believe that. And it's just that my parents didn't believe they had the authority to get me to do what they wanted. They sent it up to a higher power. They didn't want to take the responsibility, they gave it to an outside force. That's all it is. When we come into our senses that as spiritual beings, when we were created in the image likeness of goodness, and goodness is bred into us as the breath of life that was bred into us. When we accept that our opinion of ourselves dictate what will happen to us, we get it. Forgiveness is removing the aspects of the old program that consistently do us harm and prevent us from experiencing the good that surrounds us. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not when you do me something, I say I forgive you. Forgiveness is an internal, you got to lower that one a bit for me. Forgiveness is an internal process of releasing and taking in something new. It's denial and it's affirming a new truth that you can apply, you can use in your life to have new results. We believe that just taking in the information and regurgitating it helps us. It doesn't do anything for us. When we experience life, all that is happening is first happening in mind. And when it happens in mind, it plays out in our body, in our experiences, in our world, in our affairs. If you declare you don't like me, I can be the best person in the world, but every time I'm in your presence, you're going to feel the stuff coming up inside of you that is not coming up inside of me. You ever notice that? The people that you hate are smiling and laughing and going ahead and doing good stuff and dancing, and you uptight and still. You ever notice that? That everything that happens in your life happens first within you. Your opinion of yourself is critical. Your opinion of God is also critical. When you come to realize that you have the power to change the course of your life by making different decisions, things begin to happen. When you sell out and give other people the power, or even give God the power to come and change your life, God cannot change your life, for God is life, and that's what you have. But how you live life is dependent on what you think life should be for you. Isn't that not nice? That you are the boss in your life. You dictate what's going to happen next by your decisions and by the thoughts that you have first about yourself and about God. Does that make sense? So why do you continuously, after spending all these years in classes, why do you continuously experience all these things that are not good in your life? Has nothing to do with God. Has nothing to do with heaven. Has to do with you. And the quicker you understand that and accept that and begin to change it without blaming, start claiming, and start changing, things begin to happen in your life. If you look at the bulletin, it says, but that you may know that the Son of Man, that means you, has the authority on earth. Earth means your realm of experience to do what? To forgive sin. Sin meaning missteps. So all the missteps that you make, you have the power to correct them. That's coming from the voice of Jesus, our way sure. Now, in order to begin to release, you have to begin at the beginning. You have to be consciously aware. You got to come to your senses like the prodigal son. He came to his senses and he said, what am I doing here when my father is the owner of everything? I shouldn't be here. Why am I a slave when in reality my father has it all and I am an inheritor of all that my father may have? So why am I here? It's because what? Why? I chose to be here and not be with my father. So he said what? I am going to my father. You need to come to your senses and go where? Help me now, help me. And go to what? Go to my father, which is where? In heaven, which is with him. I need to go back to that mental state to realize that God is all that there is. And I am a part of God. And if God is absolute good, therefore what? Speak it out, speak it out. Therefore I am. And all the good that God is where? In me. All right? So one of the things I have to do is to release the falsehoods that I have told about myself and about God. One of the things I have to do is that there is no separation between God and myself. The Father, as Jesus said, and I are one. I am a spiritual being living in the spiritual universe that is called God. If God is all there is, and God is absolute good, I am all that there is, I am all good. This is a, look, let me tell you something. Everything that you have known about God has been placed to you by some theologian who had a point of view. Everything is a point of view. I'm just giving you another point of view. You could cast this off, you could throw it out, spit it out, but my role here is just to give you a new perspective so that you can live a new life. That's all. And I'm getting paid for it, so I'm going to keep doing it. You understand what I'm saying? All the thoughts, the error thoughts that I have about myself, I have to begin to deny the power that I have given to those thoughts. All right? To denounce means to release the power given to a thought like I am, and then you put stupid after I am. You're not stupid. I am lazy. Remember that whatever you put after your I am, which is your creator, you become. So that's the first thing you must realize, that I am the creator. And I create in my mind all the stuff that will in the future happen to me. Just by pronouncing I am and putting something behind it. Think about all the words you have put behind I am. Just go through that for a moment. Think about the statements you have said in relationship to your I am. Huh? Tired, dumb, stupid, insufficient, incapable, poor, limited, sick, near death, can't help myself. I am so impotent. I am so needy. I am so, whatever you put there, you check and see how your life has unfolded, if they have not come true for you. Because whatever you declare must come about. We understanding that this morning? This is not about anybody else that you didn't bring. Don't think about John who you didn't bring. You were supposed to bring John here today. But John didn't come because something was wrong with him. But you are here. You take this for you. Has nothing to do with anybody else. I am talking directly to you, right? We got that? I denounce and release the power that I have given to thoughts of lack, limitation, sickness, death, and the belief that others have power over me. Oh, that's one of the big ones. I can't do it because my mother may not like it. To heaven with your mother. You shall declare a thing and it will come to pass. It is time we release ourselves from the bondage of other people and come to our senses and claim authority, dominion, and all the stuff that the Spirit of God has given us. All the wonderful control mechanisms that we have as spiritual beings in our lives, not in anybody else's lives, in our lives. It is time we come to our senses and begin to realize that. Don't compromise. I am doing this because if I don't do it, they wouldn't love me. If you love yourself, you don't have to care who loves you. Hello now. When I declare I love myself, next line is true pool. I don't care whether you love me or not. That's it. When I love myself, I could stand up bold and firm and go anywhere and be me without compromise. But as soon as you start compromising, it means what? You believe other people have power over you. You ever thought about that? Some of us, when we hear music, a little shimmy occurs. But we were told you shouldn't dance. So you shimmy inside, but you can't shimmy outside. And that creates tension. Whatever energy wants to come out of you, you got to let it out. Trying to control the energy is what causes all the tension that you encounter in your life. Did you know that? You want to tell people, get out of my life. When they're in your midst, you're forcing a smile. As Jesus said, get thee behind me, Satan, means what? I release you because you have no power over me. And when you release them, you can now walk freely without any energy type of disturbance happening in your life. We got that? So we're coming to a point here where I'm going to invite you to make a declaration. I now consciously and deliberately release all concepts that are contrary to the truth of my being. I hold fast to the truth that the Father and I are one. I want you to think about this carefully. Very, very carefully. You're like a computer that has the potential to take in information and then use that information and then deliver whatever is required to be delivered. You know that we can change the program in a computer, can't we? Hello now? And then we will have different results. So I want you to think about yourself as a computer. Right? An old Radio Shack computer. This is going back from the 70s or late 60s. Some of you all are like that, pretending to be an Apple. All right? But how do we know? It's because your program is in the 70s. So it's like the ass in the lion's skin. You're pretending to be, but you're not. Because by your works, you are known. Okay? But you're complaining. Right? But you don't want to change. Right? You don't want to update. You don't want to get a new computer. Because this old one has served me all my life. And you're boasting. Well, evolution means what? To evolve. And everything is constantly changing. So change requires forgiveness. Letting go and embracing. 2 words, give for or replace. Get rid of and embrace something new. So let us, in this moment, begin the process of replacing the old thoughts and beliefs that you have of yourself, not of God, of yourself. The insignificant but powerful beliefs that you have been carrying around of insufficiency. Not good enough. All those kind of negative thoughts that you carry about yourself. I want you to think about them. Because they are your thoughts. And you have a right to bring them back up. You don't need permission from anybody to take a look at yourself. Just take a look at yourself right now. Right? And there's some words that Jesus, the kingdom of heaven, bliss is available to you. Right here, right now. Bliss, happiness, satisfaction, contentment is available right here. It's right at hand. Wherever you turn, it's right here. But you can't appreciate it because you have built a wall to secure your boundaries. Right? And they're still digging underneath your wall to get to you. And they're flying drones above your wall to get to you. And all the stuff that you don't want, to bring in planes and everything, the new technology is allowing them to get through to you. Okay? I want you to break down the walls that really separate you from your good. Just think about it. All the negative thoughts, the feelings that you have about yourself, about God, and about others, I want you to regurgitate them right now. Bring them back up. Just bring them up. Mentally bring them up. Ask yourself, do I deserve to suffer anymore? Do I deserve to suffer when I can free myself right now? Realizing that happiness is just a thought away. I don't have to go anywhere. All I need right here is to change some of the core thought patterns that I have held about myself. And you were given a piece of tissue-looking paper. And if there's any dominant thought or thought patterns, you could write very small, size is not important. And as you write these thoughts out, just say, I release you and I set you free. I release you and I set you free. I release you and I set you free. If it's thoughts of low self-esteem, of lack, limitations, insufficiency, unworthiness, no value or no worth, I'm not good enough, write them down. Just write them down. Any negative thought or error thought that you hold about yourself, just write it down. What is keeping me from my highest good? What is really keeping me from blossoming into the greatest oak or whatever it is? From the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. What is keeping me from becoming my full self? Why am I There's nobody else in this room but you. You and your thoughts. Just write them down. I bless you. I thank you for coming, but I release you. You are no longer of value to me. This is your time to dedicate yourself to you. You don't need to repeat what's been anymore. That's what I'll tell you. Now you don't have to write an essay, just write some points. And the ushers at this time will just come and take up that piece of tissue-looking paper from you and bring it forward.
Come, precious Spirit, sweet in grace and joy.
Change your point.
Well,
If you continue to think what you've always thought and continue to get what you've always got, if you continue to say what you've always said, then the dreams you're dreaming are surely dead. If you continue to walk that same old walk and continue to talk that same old talk, don't you know that you can grow in the ways of the Lord?
if you continue to feel how you've always felt, you'll never be able to help yourself. If you keep believing what you've always believed, then what you've been getting, you'll continue to receive. If you continue to think that same old way, your life will be the same every day. Don't you know that you can grow in the ways of the Lord? You've got to change your point of view and change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You've got to change, oh, in every way, step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today.
You continue to think what you've always thought. You continue to get what
Go ahead,
you've
go ahead.
always got.
Go ahead.
You continue to say what you've always said, then the dreams you're dreaming are surely dead.
If you continue to walk that same old walk and continue to talk that same old talk, well, don't you know that you can grow in the ways of the Lord? You've got to change your point of view and change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You've got to change, oh, in every way, step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today. You've got to change your point of view and change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You've got to change, oh, in every way, step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today. You've got to change your point of view and change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You've got to change, oh, in every way, step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today. Come on now, you've got to change your point of view and change all the things you do. Where dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You've got to change, oh, in every way, step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today.
Sometimes we use childlike symbols like this to make a point. The work is not only in the writing or the burning of a statement that you may have written. It's the beginning of an internal process of crossing out. This burning is like the baptism of fire. When you go to the core of your being to burn the root, which are the causes or beliefs that hold you in bondage. The children of Israel spent years in Egypt, but when they went in, they were happy. And then things turned, and they believed that the Egyptians had power over them. And then a man by Moses came and says, no, all power, the I am in you, is the power source that can release you from bondage. And although they left Egypt, many of them still carried the memory of Egypt. And every time they got into hardship, they wanted to go back. And this happens to us. Change does not come because I say I want to change. Change comes by constant, deliberate practice. No practice, no result. And all practice begins with belief. Do you believe you can do this? Do you believe that you can bring about a change in your life? Do you believe you still have to do and say the same things that you did and said before now? That's you. In every moment that you are consciously aware, you got to practice. You got to have a new affirmation that says, all power is given unto me mentally and in my experiences. I am mad because I have mastery, authority, and dominion over my entire realm, both mental and physical. There is no other God but the God within me. There is no other creator but the creator that begins with I am. There is no power on earth can keep me down. For I have the power at all times, no matter what may be happening in my life, to lift me up. I am the only power in my life. Say with me, I am the only power in my life. Let's say it. I am the only power, and all power is given unto me to make decisions that will affect me in the way God wants me to live, to be, and to do. I got to begin to believe that. Until I believe that, that's just rhetoric. How do I believe it? I got to start practicing it to prove it. You see, when I prove it, I believe it. No proof, no belief. It is not just taking in what I am saying and repeating it. It's not that. Now, it has to touch my heart. To know is to experience, to feel it. Unless I can claim it as mine, it is no good to me. I've met in my life highly educated, intelligent people who were suffering more than I am because they never took time to practice some of the principles that they gathered when they were gathering information. You got to put this thing in your life. Wherever I am, there's only reality, one reality that's absolute good, and I am a part of it. You got to hold this to be your truth. I have the ability to shape and form spirit, substance, ideas, and to have them manifest in my world, life, and affairs in accordance to my consciousness. So what we are trying to do here now is to change our consciousness from lack and limitation and sickness to perfection, wholeness, and completeness. If you see me, you see all that God stands for. This is our quest, to move from insufficiency to sufficiency, to take responsibility for the decisions I make as well as the outcome, so I don't blame anymore. When things happen to me, I claim it. I say to myself, I am responsible for this, and I'm also responsible for changing it. Hello now? Hello? When your relationships are not going well, it has nothing to do with the other person, it has to do with you. Claim it, and you will see things start to change. I realize that I alone have the power to change my inner mental realm as well as the outer. I realize that. I am aware that my thoughts produce after their kind. Therefore, I try to entertain thoughts that are like absolute goodness. I don't think bad thoughts or negative thoughts. Wherever I am, I accept that I am in the realm of absolute goodness, and I lift my mind there and I hold it there. Nobody on the outside has anything for me, so I'm not looking for Mr. Goodbow or Mr. Right. I am right. I am the good that God is. And then I begin to attract the good from the outside. As a good shepherd, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. I got to look after my sheep. My sheep represent my thoughts, my feelings, all the internal stuff that I have. I've got to care for them by putting them in a good place and protecting them from the enemy that comes from the outside that tries to destroy them or get to me through them. I'm aware that whatever my intent is, if I place my attention on my intent, I will have perfect manifestation. If I focus only on goodness, only goodness will manifest in my life. I'm going to ask you at this time to affirm with me on the bulletin, all power is given unto me in heaven mentally and on earth experiences. Together, please. And since this is my truth, I now let the infinite know what my intent is. You have a plain piece of paper. This is time to write again. Remember, if you took pens from the usher, please return them to the ushers after. I want you to get, this is a change in life. You're no longer taking what is not yours. Okay? So I want you to write on that, what is your intent going forward? What is your hope for glory going forward? What do you think your course in life should be going forward? Today I'm going.
Today I'm gonna try to change my world. Gonna take it one day at a time. I made my resolution, opened up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. I'm gonna say hello to my neighbor, gonna greet them with a smile, and shake the hand of a stranger, sit and talk with them for a while. I'm gonna tell someone I love them from the bottom of my heart. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. Yes, I will. Well, today
I'm gonna try to change my world.
gonna take it one day at a time. I've made my resolution.
Open up my
eyes.
Today I'm gonna try to change my world.
I'm gonna make sure that my children know right from wrong, and never turn my back on those who need someone. Always gonna try and see myself through another's eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. Yes, I will. But today
I'm gonna try to change my world. Oh yes, come on.
I'm gonna take it one day
At a time.
I made my resolution. Open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. I've made my resolution. I've opened up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try. Well, today I'm gonna try to change my world. I'm gonna take it one day at a time. I made my resolution. Open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. Yes, I will. Well, today I'm gonna try to change my world. Gonna take it one day at a time. I made my resolution. Open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world. One more time now. For the day I'm gonna try to change my world. I'm gonna take it one day at a time. I've made my resolution. Open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try to change my world.
You were also given an envelope. You can write your name and your address. Make sure that you're not moving within the next 6 months. So you can write your name on the envelope, and then I will have the ushers pass through again and collect the envelopes from you. As we do that, there's a little change. Just go to your song sheet. And I want you to stand as we sing, I Love Myself the Way I Am. And the ushers, as you stand, I want you to just put it in there and give somebody a little hand squeeze or touch a shoulder. And just realize that all of us are spiritual beings living in this universe. We are in reality one being in God. Each one of us is like a cell in a body. And your wholeness and your wellness will determine whatever the body will be. Just treat yourself as not independent, but interconnected, interdependent with the entire body. and bring your love and your fullness and your completeness and your wholeness to this moment so that the whole body in God can live. So let's stand and we sing, I love myself the way I am. Love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable. Yeah. Just reach out and touch somebody. Just touch somebody. Just reach out. Just touch somebody. Behind your tears, your rage and fears, I see you shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way and still I want to grow. But change outside will only come when deep inside I know beautiful, capable of being the best me I can. I love myself just the way I love myself just the way I am. You don't have to defend who you are. Just accept. I am a spirit. Say with me, I am a spiritual being. Always at oneness with goodness.
Always at oneness with goodness.
And so are you.
And so are you.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Because I love me. God bless. Have a wonderful year. God bless.